Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis is going down this weekend at UFC 319. Let's break it down. One of the biggest fights of 2025, one of my most anticipated fights of the year is finally here. We have two beasts of the middleweight division, two guys in their absolute prime, and they're going to go to war on Saturday night, and we're going to see who the best middleweight in the world truly is. People have been waiting a long time to finally see Khamzat Chimaev fight for the title. We've been waiting and waiting. It felt like this title shot should have came years ago. It didn't, and it's finally happening right now in the middleweight division. And it's going to be really exciting because this is a guy with a massive fan base, a guy with a lot of question marks around him, kind of an unknown figure in the mixed martial arts world because you never really see him involved in much, but he is a massive star. There's a lot of people who support this guy. He's got a ton of fans, and if he wins the belt, that's only going to elevate his star power to a whole other level. We know what Khamzat's game is. He's an elite wrestler, probably one of the best and most dominant wrestlers in the UFC right now. He's a beast. We know what his game plan is, and we know what he does very well. Then you have Dricus du Plessis on the other side, the champion, a guy who is completely unorthodox, looks really weird when he fights, but it's effective and it works for him, and he's a very tough dude to fight because of how unique and how awkward he really is, which I think is something that is going to bring Khamzat some issues in this fight, like it does to many other people that fight Dricus du Plessis. He's extremely awkward, he's tough to predict, and he's tough to figure out what he does because you can't really analyze patterns or things like that because he doesn't even know what he's doing, he doesn't know what he's throwing, and there's no sequence to anything. So he's a very tough guy to figure out on the feet, and if Khamzat can't get the takedowns, he may struggle on the feet against Dricus because of how awkward he is, which is obviously going to be the big thing in the fight. Will Khamzat Chimaev be able to take down Dricus du Plessis? I'm not sure. A lot of people are extremely confident in that fact, but let's not forget that Dricus du Plessis is a grappler at heart. His base is judo and jiu-jitsu, and he is very good on the ground. That's his bread and butter, and his striking is secondary to his game. So I think a lot of people are writing off DDP's wrestling in this matchup. DDP has wrestled before, he's shown his dominance, he's shown his strength, and everybody who's been in a gym with Dricus says that he is just really strong, and he's freakishly strong, and he's a very tough guy to grapple. So I don't know if Khamzat's gonna go out there and have his way with him. Like, I definitely don't see Khamzat going out there like he did to Whitaker and just completely ragdolling Dricus. I do not see that happening at all, but Khamzat, he may still be able to land takedowns because he is that good. He just might have to work a little bit harder for them, which will tire him out. And that'll also bring me on to my other question I have about Khamzat regarding this fight is, how's his cardio gonna be? We saw in the Kamaru Usman fight that he went out there in the first round, he used a lot of his energy, and then as the fight went on, he slowly started to fade. Luckily, it was a 3-round fight, and he was still able to get the win. But in a 5-round fight like this one is, if he decides to use a lot of his energy in those first and second rounds, trying to chase the finish, trying to drag DDP down, he could waste a lot of that energy and then start fading as the fight goes on, and DDP will take over. His cardio has been a question for the entirety of his UFC career. He always has health issues, always has stuff that prevents him from fighting, and his cardio and how long he's able to go in there will really be tested in this fight because I don't think DDP is an easy customer. He is going to make this a war no matter how it plays out. Khamzat's not getting a first round finish this time, probably not in the second either. If Khamzat's going to win this fight, he's going to have to go to deep waters, and he's going to have to bring Dricus to a place he's never really been. Because at face value, Dricus is way too good for Khamzat to just go out there and dominate. He's very good on the ground, very good on the feet, he's extremely powerful, and he's extremely awkward. That's a bad mix for anybody to be going up against. That being said, I would still tip Khamzat on the ground, but I do tip DDP on the feet because, frankly, we haven't really seen Khamzat strike at an elite level. Like, yes, he's not a slouch on the feet, but I don't think he's at the level of Dricus. Dricus is a very good kicker, very good at Taekwondo, and he's, like I said before, he's awkward as hell. You don't know what he's throwing. So I'm going to give the advantage on the feet to Dricus. So each guys have their pros and cons. Each guy are coming off of big fights recently. Of course, Dricus du Plessis had the domination over Sean Strickland in his last outing. Meanwhile, Khamzat Chimaev broke Robert Whitaker's jaw in the first round. So both of these guys are coming into this fight with momentum. Both are riding massive win streaks. It's going to be a war. But who do I actually think is going to win? A lot of people are backing Khamzat in this matchup, but I will not be one of them. I'm going to be taking Dricus du Plessis to win this fight, strictly because he has more 5-round experience. He's a very good grappler. A lot of people are writing him off in that department, and I think he has the advantage on the feet as well. If he's able to weather the storm in the first 2 rounds from Chimaev, if he's able to stay on his feet and not get taken down, if he's able to just hold off Chimaev for those first 10 minutes, allow him to use a lot of his energy, because he probably will, chasing the finish with the adrenaline and things like that in those first 2 rounds, and then later on in the fight, I could see him picking up a KO or TKO victory once he has Khamzat tired. Maybe against the fence, he's able to ground and pound him. I don't know, something along those lines. But I do believe Dricus du Plessis is going to win this fight. I know that's unpopular. I know it's kind of crazy to pick against a phenom like Khamzat Chimaev, but honestly, I don't know. I think this is a very tricky fight for him. I think if Khamzat was fighting pretty much anybody else, I'd probably pick him, to be honest with you. But I think Dricus might be his kryptonite. He might be the problem that Khamzat has, which is a guy who can kind of weather what he's throwing at him early on and will able to have the cardio to beat him up in the later rounds. And that's exactly what I think Dricus du Plessis has. I think that's the way you beat Khamzat Chimaev. If you're able to survive the first 2 rounds, you actually have a chance. And honestly, most of the middleweights in the UFC, I wouldn't give the chance to survive 2 rounds with Khamzat. But in Dricus's case, I do. He's the champion. He's a beast. And yeah, I think he's just going to win this fight. I think it's going to be a great fight, but I do think Dricus will end up getting his hand raised in the end. There you guys have it. That's what I think of the UFC 319 main event. Let me know if you guys agree with me in the comment section down below. Are you taking DDP? Are you backing Khamzat Chimaev? This is a massive fight. I want to hear your opinions on them. Thank you all for watching this video. Once again, be on the lookout for more UFC 319 content throughout the week. There's other fights to break down. There's parlays to make. There's lots to talk about. And that's going to be happening right on this channel. So thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.